Hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for the Miles Franklin channel, and an interesting story you may have heard of. A fund called ShortSellers recently had a blow up last week. And to make a long story short, it seems like primarily what they were doing was selling naked call options on natural gas. And again, for those of you who may be familiar with options, or for those who are just getting into them, similar to shorting a stock, shorting an option, it can be a good trade, although it leaves you with incredible risk should things go in the other direction, because there's no cap. You face an unlimited loss, and unfortunately, that's what happened to the ShortSellers fund. But what's interesting about this story is that the clients who were invested, in addition to losing their money, they are now being told they owe a debit balance. So they lost more than they invested, which obviously is not a scenario anyone wants to be in. Again, my background in Wall Street was as an equity options trader. I was running a specialist post on the New York Stock Exchange. So very familiar with selling and buying options. And again, not that there aren't times to sell options, but you really want to be careful. Perhaps how that all relates back to the precious metals is that I've wondered, with these funds that are now have assumed the paper short position that for a long time the banks held, and now have been able to send over to the technical funds. Now, that may not be options, but still in the similarity of they're short something that, again, by everything that I can rationally see, has an asset that has the ability to go substantially higher. If you want to know why, I will leave the link to the paper I wrote on that. It digs in and maps out everything that's going on with silver. Yet, I guess the warning here would be, if you're invested in one of these tech funds that are short silver, then I would really recommend looking into the optionsellers.com blow up, because I'm baffled that people would be this short silver when it's trading below the cost of production. And what scares me is that people may be invested in funds like that without even realizing it. And certainly, if you don't want to wake up and find a debit balance, I would be very careful about that. Check, as always, regardless of silver or anything, check what you're invested in with some of these funds. Make sure it matches at least what you're seeing, and that you're aware of the risks, because again, a lot of hedge funds are now short silver. And I've wondered before, if my analysis is correct and we do reach 50 or $100, which, based on the confirmation of the manipulation by JP Morgan, means that everything else the whole silver community has been speculating about has turned out to be right, and that a price spike would, in my opinion, be expected. So definitely don't want to be on the short side of that. So just something to watch out for. Hopefully you can learn our lesson in advance from ShortSellers, which certainly seems unfortunate, yet still a good learning tool. And leave your questions below if you have any on this topic, and appreciate you watching. We'll see you again soon.